Hello, my name is Paul Conterio and welcome to the eFileCabinet Standard User Desktop Training. This training is for standard users of the desktop eFileCabinet product. It's also for you admins. This is where you should start. There's a separate admin training, but this is the foundation or the basic training that will help you when you get into the admin training later on. Now, a little bit about us and our background. We've been in business since 2001. We're located in Lehi, Utah. If you ever get out here, we would love to have you come by. Now, I've been with eFileCabinet since 2007. What we had back then really pales in comparison to what we have today. The only constant today is change. Now, we have three products: eFileCabinet Desktop, eFileCabinet Online, and Secure Drawer, which is our portal that integrates seamlessly between desktop and our online product. Now, this training, as I mentioned, is for eFileCabinet Desktop. What we're going to cover today is the structure of eFileCabinet, cabinets, drawers, folders, how we're set up. We're going to talk about role-based security and the importance of that. We're going to talk about profiling, which is metadata, unique identifiers that helps you find things very quickly. And we're going to talk about searching. I think the most powerful tool in electronic document management is the ability to find things very, very quickly. We're going to talk about how you put documents into eFileCabinet. There's multiple ways of doing that. And then once they're in there, how do you work with documents? How do you check them out? How do you make changes to them? How do you move them to other people? We're going to talk about how you create drawers and apply templates and profiles. Now, this is a standard user training, and a standard user may be given permissions to do this. That's why I teach it at this level. We're going to talk about retention. This is an admin controlled feature, but the importance of retention and why we have retention, I will talk about in this training. And then we'll talk about our SideKick, which enhances your eFileCabinet experience. So, how are we structured? The structure of eFileCabinet, we mimic the vertical file cabinet. The vertical file cabinet was shown off as new technology in my hometown of Chicago at the World's Fair of 1893, so it's been around for a long time. You can have as many cabinets as you wish. The name of the cabinet connotes its function or its purpose. And so, for example, if this were a tax client individual cabinet, then the drawers inside would be the individual clients. If this were an HR cabinet, then each drawer would represent a different employee. If this were a vendor's cabinet, each drawer would be a different vendor. Best practice for electronic document management is to have each person have his or her own drawer. Physically, that would be very hard to do, but electronically, that is best practice. Now, in the drawers, you have folders, and you can have any kind of combination of folders. We use templates to set those up, that the admins actually set up folders so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to filing things, but the standard user may be given permission to apply a folder structure. Then there's the electronic document, whatever that may be. So this is how we're set up. Now we're going to talk about how eFileCabinet, the software, is structured. As you can see, I'm in eFileCabinet, and under the Home tab, you can see there is a menu bar here, and this functionality is mainly for the standard user. You can see there's other tabs here, the View tab, the Secure Drawer tab. I'm going to jump over to the Administration tab. When I click on this tab, you can see the functionality that's available to an administrator. So if you have no administration permissions, you will not even see this tab. Now, under the View tab, we're going to spend a little bit of time here now and then come back to it. You can see how eFileCabinet is divided up. There's the cabinet tree, there's the file list, the profile view, and so forth. So the cabinet tree, for example, is this section of eFileCabinet, where all the cabinets are, where the drawers are, where the folders will appear. If I do not want to see this section, I simply unselect this button and it goes away. To bring it back, I just reselect the button. So we'll come back to this in a moment, but let's go underneath the Home tab and let's discuss first the cabinet tree section. You can see the cabinets I have here. These are all the cabinets that I have permission to see. Now, I can also make one of these cabinets, or several of them, my cabinets, which is now empty. And the reason I may want to do that is maybe I just want to work on this one cabinet and do not want to see the other cabinets while I do that. So let's go to the Human Resource Cabinet and watch as I click on the different levels of eFileCabinet, how this menu bar will change. So I'm going to click on the Human Resource Cabinet. I'm going to left click on it. Notice that the drawers inside the cabinet appear, or I can click on this little arrow here and see the same drawers. So by making this one of my cabinets, let's do that. It'll come down here. I'm going to right click and notice a window opens up. And if you remember anything from this training, this will be probably most helpful. There's a lot of right click functionality within eFileCabinet. So if you're ever in doubt about something, simply right click on it, and the choices that appear is the functionality that is available to you at that point. So I'm going to make this one of my cabinets. Notice it still stays up in the cabinets section, but now I've isolated it down in my cabinet. So here's my Human Resource Cabinet, and the drawers therein are all the pretend employees of my pretend company. Now notice when I watch again this menu bar here, when I click on James Wilson's drawer, okay, it highlights, and then also two more sections come into eFileCabinet, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So here are the folders within the James Wilson's drawer. Let's say this photo folder, I can just click on it here. It opens up the folder, and there is a file or a document. Now watch again when I click on the document, what changes over here and up here. So I left click, and wow, look at all the different functionality that's available to the file itself. If I go under the View tab, I can actually see the document in this View window. If I want to expand it to the full width of the computer screen, I just simply double click on the View button here, and here's James Wilson, the pretend president of this pretend company. And then I can just simply double left click again, and it brings me back to the original window. So I'm now going to go to Paula Taylor's drawer, but I want to bring it up by itself. So I'm going to go to this search window here and just type in Paula's name and then search for just that drawer, and it just brings that drawer up for me to work in. And I'm going to open up the drawer, and you're going to see the folders and the subfolders here. And let's take a look at Paula Taylor. So again, we can peek at her. There's Paula Taylor. She is, as we click up here, her position is the Vice President of Marketing. So let's go to the Social Security folder, and there is her Social Security card that I can look at very quickly. And go back, and you can see I have an I-9 here, and notice the profile information that comes up, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. And there's Paula Taylor's I-9, and notice how it changes to an I-9 profile, and very quickly I can see this document. And I can change the size if I wish very quickly. And so I'm going to click on the resume folder. Notice there are two icons here. One is a PDF and one is a Word document. Both of them are resumes for Paula Taylor. And here's Paula Taylor's resume over here in the preview window. So now it's time to go back to the View tab. And remember, the cabinet tree is over here. The file list, that's here. So if I click this box and deselect, notice that that area disappears. The profile view is here. I can select and deselect it. The detailed view is this area in here. Again, I can deselect it. The search bar is this area right here, this search window. Again, I can deselect that. And the download status, you won't see anything unless I'm bringing in documents. And then you can see in real time how long it takes, really how quickly it takes the documents to come in. And then the status bar is this bar down here that I can select and deselect. The column area here can be changed by coming up to columns and choosing what you would want to see. Documents that are checked out, tagged, has comments, workflow. You can add or take away depending on what's important to you. And you can see that across here. You can also choose how you want your background to appear by clicking a different color. And you can create multiple windows of eFileCabinet by clicking here or here. Two ways to get to the same results. So if I'm working in two different parts of eFileCabinet, I can click here and it'll open up another window of eFileCabinet that quickly. So that's the basic structure of eFileCabinet. Okay, I'm now going to talk about role-based security. This allows you, depending on the position of a person within a company, what they can and cannot see and can and cannot do. This is a fantastic feature that helps you to be compliant with SEC, FINRA, and HIPAA. So here's Mary, a pretend person. She's Vice President of Human Resources and Accounting. Notice over here she can see 7 cabinets. One of those cabinets is the Human Resource Cabinet. When she opens that up, she can see each of the drawers in there, each of the drawers representing a pretend employee in this example. Now, Tom Adams here, when she goes into his drawer, she can see the folder structure. And because of her position within the company, she can see both the financial records of the employee, and when she goes into the benefits folder, she can see the personal health information of the employee. And when she enters into the benefits folder, she has entered into HIPAA territory with HIPAA compliance, HIPAA laws, and HIPAA penalties. So this is a very sensitive position for anyone to have within a company. Now, someone who reports to her is Bob Cratchit. Notice he only sees 5 cabinets. He doesn't see 7. He doesn't need to see the other 2. When he goes into the Human Resource Cabinet, he sees every drawer representing again each employee. And when he goes into Tom Adams' drawer, he doesn't see the benefits folder. He doesn't need to see the benefits folder containing the employee's personal health information. So side by side, Bob and Mary see the same cabinet. They see the same drawer. They see the same folder structure, except Mary has access to the benefits folder and the sensitive information in there, and Bob doesn't even know it exists. Now, as we look at this, as I log into eFileCabinet as an admin user, you can see I've set up Ashley here as a standard user. And what I've done in this training example is over to the left, I've actually been very descriptive in how I've created these folders. You wouldn't name folders like you see I've named them over here. So let's bring this up. So this folder here, when Ashley logs into eFileCabinet with her username and password, she will not see anything in this folder. There could be hundreds and hundreds of documents in there. She will not see any of them. Now I can go back and give her permissions to do so, but in this particular case, she cannot see anything in this folder. She cannot see this folder. It won't appear to her. Now, when you have view permissions, what does that mean? That means that she can actually see a document. And let me just pull back here. So here's a PDF. She can see it in the preview screen. She cannot take this document out of eFileCabinet. She cannot make any changes to this document. She cannot put any documents into this folder. She can only view within the view window here. Now, if I give her open permissions, then she can go back to a document like this. She can open the application, whether it's a Word document, a PDF document, an Excel document. She can open it. She can save it to her computer, but she cannot make any changes in that document save back into eFileCabinet unless I give her edit permissions. Now, when she has edit permissions, she can open that document. She can make changes to that document. She can save that document back into eFileCabinet. Now, obviously, delete, we know what that means. That means she could delete this document, but it still exists on your server. And as an admin, there's a place, or with admin permissions, you can go and actually find that document and do one of two things. You can either restore it or you can purge it. And I'll demonstrate this a little bit later. Okay, if she has the administration permissions at this folder level, she can then do that. She can delete a document. She can go see that document in the recycle bin, and I'll show you where that is, and she can restore it as she needs to. So, okay, let's go into the software itself, and I'll demonstrate this. Okay, I'm now going to log into eFileCabinet as James Wilson, the pretend president of this pretend company. Now, he has admin rights. Notice the different cabinets he can see. Now, one of the cabinets you can see is the Human Resource Cabinet. As he opens that up, you can see all the different drawers there. He has permission to do that. He also has permission to see the Tax Client Individual Cabinet. And the reason I'm showing you this is these are the 3 cabinets, the third one being the Security Cabinet, that the standard user, Ashley Cecil, will have permission to go to. Now notice in the security cabinet here, there are two drawers. And then in this top drawer for permissions, you can see there are different folders in here. And I've named these folders, as I mentioned earlier, in a descriptive way describing what permissions I've given to Ashley Cecil. So she will not be able to see anything inside this folder. Notice there's quite a few, there's 4 documents in there. This folder, she cannot see this folder at all. And then we'll go through the different permissions here. But what I'm going to do is log out of James Wilson's account and log in as Ashley Cecil. You'll notice right away that she only sees those 3 cabinets. When she goes to the Human Resource cabinet, she can only see her drawer. And within the drawer itself, I have given certain permissions depending on what she should be able to see or not see. For example, under the Benefits folder, under the Security tab here, you can see those who have permission to go into the Human Resource cabinet and Ashley Cecil's drawer. James is the president, Mary's the vice president, Ashley, that's the employee, and Gina's the director of HR, and Bob Cratchit's vice president of accounting. So he's restricted from going into the benefits folder with the personal health information, but everywhere else he can view it. As you look here, you can see how the permissions change. So going back to now the security cabinet, look down. She can only see one drawer. We know there's 2 drawers in there. Let's look at the permissions. So I'm going to go to the very bottom folder here, and I have these different files in here, and based on each file I've given Ashley different permissions. At this first file here, she can view it. Okay, if you want to look at the document, so there's Ashley. She has permission to view that document. Here she has permission to view and open, view, open, edit, view, open, edit, delete, and then administrative rights. Now lots also, when I click the security tab here, you'll notice that you can see she's able to see the permissions she has at this level. But notice under the view only, pretty much everything here is grayed out because she's limited with this document. She cannot email it, she cannot print it, she can't save it to her desktop, she can't check it out. If I go to view and open, she can open this document. Notice now she can email it, she can print it, she can save it. She does not have editabilities for retention. She can send it through Secure Drawer. I go down to view, open, and edit. Now she can check out the documents. Okay, she can make changes to the documents. View, open, edit, delete. Notice this delete button is grayed out. Also, if I right click, it's grayed out here. So if I go open, edit, delete, now she can delete the document. Okay, but she cannot restore it unless she has the view, open, edit, delete, admin. Now she can restore the document. So let me do this. I am actually going to go to the view and open because this allows her to save the document. And so if I double left click, one of the choices here is to continue. This allows me to open the document. And now I have control of the document, and I can save it to my computer, to my desktop or a Windows folder. And so, however, if I try to do the same thing and check it out, I get this error message. You do not have sufficient permission to check it out. See, you have to have edit permissions to check it out. So if I come here, now I can check it out. But I'm going to go down here and actually check out a document. And so I'm going to double left click. That's one way of doing it. Or I can check it out here, or I can right click and check it out. 3 ways to check out a document. So now I have this document and I can make a change to it. I'm inside the PDF editor and creator, which is Foxit Phantom. We love Foxit Phantom. You may be using Adobe Standard or Adobe Professional, but this allows me to edit a PDF. So I'm going to just come here and make a very quick edit. I'm just going to make a little comment. I'll just scribble something here so you can see I've made some changes. I'm going to go up to File. I'm going to save it. Okay, now watch what happens when I close it. First off, why I have this checked out, there's a little lock here. The reason there's a lock there is only one person at a time can check out a document. Multiple people may view a document, So other people may see this document here, but only one person at a time can check it out. Okay, so I can also hover over this lock and it tells me who has this document checked out at this time. Now, physically, if you were to go to a physical file cabinet, open up a drawer, pull out a document, go back to your desk, now someone else goes to that same file cabinet, they're not going to find it because you have it. With electronic document management, they can at least see the last version of the document and they can actually download this, but only one person at a time can work on the document. So now what I'm going to do is actually close it. I'm inside the PDF creator and editor. And so I'm simply going to save it, which I already have, and then I'm going to just close it. Okay, now eFileCabinet is intelligent. It says, what do you want to do with this? It recognizes that I've closed this. Do I want to save it back with the changes? Do I want to have a new version of it? Do I want to skip them? I'm going to save it as a new version. So I click here, check in as a new version. I hit yes. And now look, you can see there's a little V1 there. And when I click on that, there is the document with the changes in it. So these are permissions I put at the document level. The folders over here, I've put permission at the folder level and pushed them down. So this document in here or anything in this folder here, she can only see. In fact, with view only permissions, if I take a document and try to drag and drop it in there, she's going to see this message. You do not have sufficient permissions to complete this actions. What does this mean with view only? She can only view the documents in here. She cannot put any documents into this folder. You're pretty limited with view only. View and open. Now this allows her to take a document and drag it into eFileCabinet and store it. And so now she has this document there. Now she can't do much to it now. She can't edit it, but she can move documents into a folder that has permissions to open. And again, if you go to View, Open, Edit now, if I bring that in, she would have those permissions that are inherited based on the permissions I've given the folder, and I've pushed it down so anything that goes in that folder automatically inherits the permission of the folder. So notice I've also showed you one of the ways you can bring documents into eFileCabinet, and we talk about storing documents, and so I've jumped ahead a little bit, but you can drag and drop in, you can drag and drop out of eFileCabinet. I can also come up to the Store button up here in the upper left. When I click on it, it opens up this window. I can then navigate into my windows and pick a document and click Open, which opens another window that allows me to navigate to where I want to store the document. Now, if I try to store that document with the view only permissions for this I-9 and come over and hit the store button, again, I am told I do not have permissions to do that. One last thing, if you do have permissions to edit security, there's two places you can go at this point. There's this little button here that allows you to edit the security. There's this button up here that allows you to edit security. So at all levels below the cabinet, security is edited here or here. The cabinet, however, you edit security at the top level, at the cabinet level, and that's something I train in the admin training. Okay, now if I were to delete a document, where would that document go? So let's do that. So this document we just saved, I am going to delete it. I do have permission as Ashley Cecil in this folder to be able to delete this document. You right click on the document, you go down to delete, or I can come up here and do the same thing. So I will delete that. It says, are you sure you want to delete this item? After deletion, it will still exist on your server and will be recoverable. However, it will not appear in this drawer. So I'll hit yes. And so now that document is no longer seen here. But if I go to the folder that contains it and right click on it, there is a action that says deleted items. And if I have permissions, I can click on that. It'll open up this window. So this is your recycle bin for that folder. And there is the document. And I can either restore it or purge it. If I purge it, then I have to put my login permission in this window. And then I can confirm the purge. And now that document is completely gone. Now, if I go to any of these other folders here, like View, Open, Edit, and I right click, notice it's grayed out. I do not have permission to be able to restore or see what's in the recycle bin. Best practice is to come up to the cabinet itself and right click, and if you have permissions you can see deleted items, and that will allow you to see everything that's been deleted in the cabinet, any folders, any drawers, any documents. That's the best place to manage it as an admin. It'd be kind of cumbersome to go to each folder and check out each folder, or you can go to a drawer and right click and view by clicking on this button here, deleted items, and see everything in that particular drawer that has been deleted. Let's close security and let's take a look here. Ashley has additional permissions. Let's go to Tom Adams, and if she were to delete this text folder, she could right click and delete the folder. So that folder's gone. She could take a document here inside the source documents folder and delete that, and now that's gone. So if she goes up to the drawer itself and right clicks, goes down to deleted items, there's the folder in the recycle bin, and here it says show subdirectories, and there is the folder and also the document. So she can either restore it or purge it. Now, in order to do that at a cabinet level, if you were to delete a cabinet, you must be an admin in order to delete a cabinet. And then the admins have a function where they can again look and see all the cabinets that have been deleted, and they can either restore those or purge them. Okay, I am now going to talk about profiles. Profiles are unique identifiers. It's metadata. It is being able to tag items so that enhances our search capabilities. When I log into eFileCabinet as the main admin here, and you can see Ashley Cecil is the standard user pictured here. And as you look in this area right down here, this is where you'll find the profile information for this document. And you can tag a document with profiles and folders and drawers, and the profile items would be full name, company name, job titles. These are the building blocks that make up the profile. This profile is the employee profile, and this information placed in here uniquely identifies Ashley Cecil to this document. So if I were to search in this window here for any of the profile information, it'll bring me back to this document. And this is where the admins will actually go. If you log in as an admin, if you are an admin, you'll see this tab. If you are not an admin, this tab will not exist to you. But as you go over here, manage profile fields, these are the fields, and the profiles themselves are like employee profile. You can have multiple profiles. And what you can profile or what you can tag drawers, folders, files, or documents, and they can be different profiles at different levels. Now let's pretend for a moment that we are dealing with an employee profile. Paula Taylor is a pretend employee, and this is her drawer. And so let's open this up, and you can see there in the center the employee profile for Paula Taylor right here. And so let's go into it and let me show you how you can actually edit it. Standard users may be able to do this. So there's the employee profile, there's the profile items, Paula Taylor, the company, and you can see job titles and item, and you decide what these items are. The admins decide what these items are. Now if I want to edit this, I click on that little button there, and you can see there's different fields. I can type in information, or I've created as an admin drop downs, job titles. All the pretend job titles in this pretend example show up here. And here I have different departments, another drop down with the pretend department names. And then if you go into like a hire date, you can see a calendar comes flying out. So it makes it very easy to navigate and find the right date. Now, why would you want to have dates in there? Because you can search by dates. And so these tools are available for the admins and also the standard users to be able to quickly fill out profile information. And so this is the employee profile, and I have many other profiles. So go up to that edit button, and you can see that's the employee profile. Let's choose a different profile. Don't let this scare you. I have a lot of industries I train in. So if I go to, for example, a client's profile, obviously the information is different for a client than it would be for an employee. Here's a W-2 profile, and all these fields would relate to a W-2. Okay, let's look at another example of a profile, and this would be for a file or a document. And this is an invoice that has come in, and you can see in the preview window there is an invoice for XYZ company. And then if you look in the center there is the profile information for accounts payable invoices. So what I'm going to do is pretend I'm one of the managers here, and I have permission or authority to approve this invoice. And so you can see manager approval is blank right there. And so I'll simply go up to the editing button there, and I have a drop down. So I am James Wilson in this example, and I've approved this invoice. So that's another way in which profiles can be very, very helpful. Okay, I'm now going to talk about searching. I believe that the number one benefit of electronic document management is the ability to find things very quickly. And so just like we are familiar with cabinets, drawers, folders, and documents, you no longer have to go to a cabinet electronically or physically, or a drawer or folders or subfolders to find documents today. So just like a Google search, you can search for the name of a document and find it almost instantly. You can also search by the name of drawers and also by the name of folders. And as I've mentioned, you can also search by the name of documents. In addition, you can search for profile information, and you can search through indexing and OCR. OCR stands for optical character recognition. So when you scan a physical piece of paper, you're making an electronic copy of that, and in our case, it becomes a PDF. The moment that happens, the computer does not recognize any of the words, the letters, or the characters in that document until a very advanced and powerful piece of software is run called OCR. Once that happens, then that document becomes searchable. They actually call them OCR engines, like a car engine or a jet engine. It's an OCR engine. And then by indexing it, you're able to find documents that contain certain words. For example, if you see the word Gildersleeve on the screen here, let's say that I have hundreds or thousands of documents stored inside eFileCabinet, and I want to find all the documents that contain the word Gildersleeve inside the document. This allows you to find those documents. In addition, now there's Zono OCR. The only constant today is change, and as technology keeps pushing us forward, now we have Zono OCR. This came out last year, and this allows you to be able to take any standard document, we're all familiar with a W-2, and identify the fields within the document. The fields are all the same. It's the information contained therein that become unique identifiers. And every industry has standard kinds of documents. The insurance industry, the legal industry, the tax industry. This is one example. By identifying these different fields through Zono OCR, as a document is scanned, the information is pulled off of that document electronically and automatically placed in the profile fields within eFileCabinet. And the benefit of that is no longer do you need to have data entry. Okay, I will now demonstrate 3 different ways in which you can search inside eFileCabinet. Notice in the center there's a search window. From there you can search for drawers by their name, folders by their name, files, and any profile information. But I'm going to start out with an OCR search. I'm going to pretend I'm looking for a client of mine. I remember his name is Smith. I remember he lives on Briarwood, but I cannot remember the number. So I'm going to search for the word Briarwood. And this is an advanced search. And so I simply go up to the advanced search button that you can see there, and I click on it. It opens up a window. And from here, I am going to look in every single cabinet, in every single drawer, in every single folder for the word Briarwood. So I identify what I'm looking for, full text search in the file itself. Again, I'm going to look everywhere for this. Any documents that have Briarwood inside them. 4 have come up. There's the W-2 I'm looking for. I can click on that in the preview window. I can go down there, and there's Briarwood inside the document. That is what I found. Now, where does this document reside? I can right-click, go to location, It'll show me in the tree. It's under John Smith's drawer in the tax folder, and there is the document. And so with this kind of technology, you should never lose a document again. Now I'm going to look for a profile, the word Northbrook. This is the same document. In the profile, I have the word Northbrook. This is the town that Smith lives in. I search, and there in that W-2, you can see now in the profile information, it found the same document, but by using profiling, by finding the word Northbrook. Again, I can right-click functionality, and find exactly where that document resides in the tree. Now, the third search I'm going to do is for the name of a document. So I'm going to be looking for George Washington's tax return. So I'm going to just type in tax return, but this is going to give me a very large result in terms of tax return. Look at all the folders I have that are called tax return and documents that are called tax return. So I simply narrow my search. I'm going to type in the word George. And if I have a bunch of George, I'll put his last name in there, but I don't. I have just 3. There's George Washington. Left click on it. Then I can preview the document. There it is. Then I can right click and see where that document is stored. And there it is in George Washington's drawer in the tax return and federal subfolder, and there it is. And so this, again, I believe that the greatest benefit of document management, or one of the greatest, is how fast you can find things. Okay, let's take a look at where we're currently at. So we've covered the structure of eFileCabinet, role-based security, profiling, searching. Now we're going to talk about storing documents, the different ways in which we can store documents. And as you can see, we can upload files, we can drag and drop. I've already demonstrated this to a degree. There's the Microsoft integration, there's the virtual printing to eFileCabinet, there's scanning, there's right-click and send eFileCabinet, and you can also do this through the SideKick. In addition, for admins, there are 4 other ways to store documents. There's watched folders, which is a workaround. Best practice is to have a dedicated scanner to your computer. If you do not have that, admins can set up watched folders that you can scan into, and that will be directly mapped into eFileCabinet. And I demonstrate this in the admin training. There's secure drawer, there's import from Windows, and the public API. Now, standard users will be using secure drawer, so I'll kind of show some of that here, but we have a separate secure drawer training just for that. Okay, I'm going to show you now how easy it is to store documents into eFileCabinet. So I have my eFileCabinet open, and on the right here on my desktop, I have 5 documents. There are different kinds of documents. There's a JPEG, a photo, there's a PDF, an I-9, there's a Word document, resume you have here, and a Social Security card. So what I'm going to do is place these in Matt Cook's HR drawer. And so I have an HR cabinet here, and I'm going to right-click on that cabinet, make it one of my cabinets just so it's by itself. It's still up here, but now it's down by itself. And there are all my drawers. And I'm going to simply search for Matt Cook's drawer, so I can just look at that drawer. Just type Matt. He's the only Matt I have as an employee. There's Matt Cook's drawer. Okay. And so now I'm going to right click on the drawer itself, and I'm going to expand it all. So notice the folders are all completely empty. And so I'm going to bring in the resume first, and I'm going to come up to the store button and click on it. It opens up this window. I can look at each of the documents that I want to bring in. There's the resume, and you can see there is a Word document here. There is the Social Security card, but it's the resume I want to bring in by itself, and I simply click Open. The resume folder is already highlighted because I clicked on it before right here. So it's ready to go in there. Now notice a couple things here. There's the name of the resume. If I needed to, I could view it here if I forgot what it looked like. Perhaps I had to step out for a moment. So there it is again. I can view it. Now there's some other things here that I think are very, very helpful. You can actually put profiles on the document as you bring it in. Now this applies the parent profile that was set up at the drawer. I can click here, and there is the parent profile. brings all that information that I already have stored in on Matt Cook. Or I can say I have a resume profile in here, and I can go down to resume profile. And you can see here's the name of the person, the date received, so I can put the date in there very quickly, and I can type in a name. This is all searchable. Date interview, date hired, that can be placed in there. Now let me show you at the bottom here. I'm going to just bring this up a little bit. Right here you can see it says delete file on store and send to secure drawer. So if I click this, it turns red, it warns you, because then when I actually come over to the right side and store it, the document that you see on my desktop here, the resume, will automatically and permanently be deleted. Now, a lot of people love this because they don't have to go back to Windows and manage that. It deletes it, but it's a permanent deletion. It's not going to go into your recycle bin. This will allow me to send it to secure drawer at the same time. So I will click here, and you can watch in a moment and watch this document, this resume here, disappear as I bring it in. So it's going to come in with this name, it's going to come in with this profile, and just let me open up eFile a little bit larger here so we can see this maybe in real time, and I'll simply hit the store button. Okay. That document disappeared. It's no longer there. It is inside eFileCabinet, and you can see it right here. So that's using the store button to bring in one at a time. Now I'm going to bring in the rest of them all at the same time. And so I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm in Matt Cook's drawer. I'm going to go to this store button. I'm going to click on the others. So there is the JPEG. There's the Social Security card, and there's the Word document, and there's the I-9. Okay, so now all I have to do is click open. Brings me back to that same window. The first document is the I-9 I see here. Now notice as I come down to the bottom, let me just move the eFileCabinet over to the left. I have another button that came here, which is Store All Remaining Files Here. What does that allow me to do? Maybe I want to store all the files in one folder. I can do that. Or maybe I store one file in one folder and the other two I want to store in the other folder. That way they don't come up one at a time. I can store them all at once if I need to. So I'm not going to do that. I don't need to. I am going to delete. So these will disappear. Over here will disappear when I store them. So what I'm going to do is come up back to Matt Cook's drawer. And I'm going to open up the permanent folder. Okay, but right now I have the I-9. So I'm going to go to the I-9 folder. This is where the I-9 will go. And I simply can come over here to the profiles. Again, I can apply the parent profile, or I can look for, I have an I-9 profile. And notice in the I-9 profile, some of the information that I captured is from the I-9. So what is the legal status? That's options in the I-9. A citizen of the United States and so forth, a non-citizen national of the United States, and two other choices. Okay, and the other choices, I can have an alien number here or an emissions number here or a date of expiration. I just put this profile together. Okay, this is a legal citizen, this person. And so now I'm going to save this document in this folder. I'm going to delete this as I do so, and watch over here too as I click store. That I-9 is gone. Now the next document is coming up, and that's Matt Cook's photo. And so I do have a photo folder here. I have a photo profile that I can bring up. Okay, this is already filled out. He's a direct sales manager in the sales department. I can type in Matt's name here. Okay, so now I am going to delete that as it comes in, and you'll see it disappear here. Store it. Photo's gone. Next, Social Security card. I have a folder for the Social Security card. I click on it, and I'm simply going to come over here and see I have a Social Security profile, and I can put the number in here if I wanted to. Okay, and so this person is in the sales department, and I store that. Now the Social Security card will disappear. And the last one is a performance evaluation, and there it is, ready in the queue. And here I have inside this folder an evaluation folder. I'm also going to send this to his secure drawer at the same time. I'm just going to put the parent profile on that, and it will disappear here. Then I'll show you I have his secure drawer open, and so we can go into the secure drawer, and he is an employee. Okay, and so we have Matt in here. So you can see here's Matt Cook. Right now his secure drawer is empty. So I'm going to move it over, and now we're going to store this document inside eFileCabinet. It will delete it as I do that from Windows and automatically send it to secure drawer. So the secure drawer window will come up, and it will show all 4 of the documents that I just brought in. But I only want the performance document, so I'll cancel this one, cancel this one, cancel this one. So all 3 of these documents have been canceled. So I'm just going to send this one here. So it's complete. It's been sent. I'll close this, and let's go over to secure drawer now. And let's refresh this browser. And there's the document that I just sent over in secure drawer. So let me bring eFileCabinet back in and see what we just did. So under the Matt Cook's drawer, and I'm going to go from bottom up under the photo folder. There is Matt Cook's photo. There is the profile, photo profile that we brought in. The Social Security card. Let's click on that. There's the Social Security card profile, and there is the card right there. You can look at it really big if you want to. There is the resume folder. There's the resume. Okay, again, I can open this up. And then finally, there is the evaluation folder with the performance evaluation that we just brought in, that also we sent over to secure drawer. So that was something the client would receive, and also as an admin you would see in secure drawer. I will now discuss the Microsoft Office integration. Notice when I open up a Word document, we now have a piece of real estate, a Send to eFileCabinet button. So when I click this, a window opens up, allowing me to store this Word document into eFileCabinet directly in its native Word format. This button also exists on Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, and the collaboration software, the email software, Microsoft Outlook, where you can store an email directly into eFileCabinet with an attachment. I now bring a Microsoft Word document to my desktop, and I will click the Send to eFileCabinet button for this performance evaluation form. This store window now opens up, allowing me to store the document. So I'm going to come up and search for Craig Barton. Just his last name will do. Here's Craig's drawer. I'll navigate down to the folder I'm looking for, the evaluation folder. It already comes with a name since this Word document already exists, or I can click on a predefined name. I can also apply a profile here, and I'm going to just click on the Store button. And the moment I did that, I'll bring up eFileCabinet. The document's automatically stored in the appropriate folder inside eFileCabinet in its native Word format. Perhaps you do not currently see the Send to eFileCabinet button on your Microsoft Office products. You simply go up to the E in the upper left-hand corner here in order to install that feature. Go down to the Install Uninstall Features button, and then this window will open up. You simply need to make sure that the eFileCabinet Office add-on box is checked, and then click Apply. The only caveat is make sure that your Office products are closed when you do this, or it will not work. I'm now going to show you how to print to eFileCabinet. So using the same Word document found on my desktop, instead of sending to eFileCabinet, which will keep it in its native format, I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go down to Print, and then I am going to choose, as you can see, eFileCabinet. This is the virtual printer. Instead of the physical printer, it's the virtual eFileCabinet printer. I click print and it automatically opens up the store window again, and it remembers the last place we left off, which is in the Craig Barton's drawer in the evaluation folder. There is the Word document that we stored a minute ago. So now I can type in a name here, or I'll just use this predefined document name. I'll apply the parent profile and I will store this document. And as I do that, it automatically places that document inside eFileCabinet. As you can see here, there is the Word document, there is the PDF that we just created, and we can view it very quickly. So that's printing to eFileCabinet. Anything you can print to a physical printer, you can print to eFileCabinet. It creates a second document, which is a PDF. I'm now going to speak briefly about scanners. Best practice for an electronic document management system is to have each computer have its own scanner. Now this little Epson sits next to my computer. It does 65 pages a minute, full duplex, color. It's an excellent scanner, and we're going to use this in a minute to show you how to use eFileCabinet when it comes to scanning. Also, I want to mention that on our website there is a page under products that talks about scanning and the scanners that we recommend, and also that we are here to help you set up your scanners. I'm going to now demonstrate the scanning feature of eFileCabinet. I've logged into eFileCabinet, and in the 2016 cabinet, I'm going to choose Peter Pan's drawer. And inside Peter Pan's drawer, I'm going to scan into the text document folder. So I'm going to click on the scan button, which opens the scanning dashboard. These are your default settings along this toolbar here. Depending on the kind of scanner you have will determine what you can and cannot do. I'm going to click on the scan button. I have 7 pages in the Epson scanner that are now coming through one at a time. You'll be able to see the little thumbnails of these documents as they go through the scanner. From here I can view very quickly to make sure the documents went in correctly. There's right-click functionality. I can delete a page, I can rotate a page, I can invert a page, I can invert it back. I can move pages around. I can left-click and change the order of a page if I need to. I can also bookmark a page. I can right-click and bookmark a page. So I'm going to put Ashley Cecil's name on this bookmark. This allows me, let's say, instead of 7 pages, I stored 50 pages, so I can visually see which documents belong to who. This bookmark only stays here. It doesn't travel with the page. I can batch pages, so maybe X number of pages equal a document. I can determine that here. If I were to store now, I would have one document that contains 7 pages. Or I can also bookmark using my Shift key and my Control key. By holding the Shift key down, I've highlighted the first 3 pages. If I store now, I'll have one document with 3 pages, and then I can come back and store the others. Or I can use my Control key and cherry pick which documents I wish to store. So I have 1, 2, and 3. Those pages are highlighted. So let's store them. The eFileCabinet store window opens again that we've used earlier. There's Peter Pan's drawer, already highlighting the text document folder. Find document names I can choose from here. I'm just going to call this a demo scan. I can apply a parent profile, and let's store it. So you can see the document now is stored in the text documents folder, and there are the 3 pages that we just stored. Going back to the scanning dashboard, it says pages have been stored. Do I want to clear the screen of these stored pages, or do I want to store them somewhere else? I am done with them. It takes me back to the last 4 pages. Let's store them very quickly. Okay, now I can store this next document containing these 4 pages somewhere else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the same folder. I'm going to call it the same name, and watch what happens. eFileCabinet recognizes that a document with this name already exists, so I have 5 choices: stores a different name, stores a new version, override, or append or prepend. These last features only apply to a PDF. They will not work with a Word document or an Excel document. So I am going to prepend, hit OK. And now all 7 pages are attached again as one document. One of the great features of eFileCabinet is the tagging feature. Now I've logged into eFileCabinet and I'm going to be working in the Human Resource Cabinet. I've already made it one of my cabinets. And so I want to work in the Paula Taylor drawer. I'll just type in Paula here and search for it and bring her up to the top. And I want to tag 4 documents. So tagging allows me to bring documents from different locations to one location to be able to work on them all together if I choose to. So I'm going to go to the I-9 folder. There is the first document I wish to tag. You can see here is her I-9. Now in the toolbar you can see there's an icon that looks like a paperclip. So that is the tag button. So now this document is tagged. That's the first one. The second one I want to do is her resume. So here is her resume. I want to tag that also. So I can come up here to the toolbar, or I can right click and tag it. The second document I've tagged. The third one is a Social Security card of Paula Taylor's. I'm going to tag that. And the fourth one is a photo, a JPEG of Paula Taylor. And there she is, and I'm going to tag that document. And then to the right, I have a button that says Tag Files. When I click on that, it brings all 4 documents that I've tagged to one location. Now let me highlight all of them. I want to work on all 4 of them at the same time. There are certain things I can do at this point. I can email these 4 documents. This would attach all 4 of these documents to the same email. That is, if you have Microsoft Outlook. I can print all 4 of them. I can save them to Windows, or I can send them through Secure Drawer. So I'm just going to right click and untag them. And so that is the tag feature of eFileCabinet. And finally, creating drawers and applying templates and profiles and setting up retention inside eFileCabinet. So back inside eFileCabinet, and here is my SideKick. Everything I do inside eFileCabinet also appears in SideKick and vice versa. It accesses the same database on your server. So in creating a new drawer, I can do it a couple different ways. First, as a standard user, I have to have permission to do this. So I can come up here and create a new drawer, or I can right click and create a new drawer. So let's do that. And the new drawer will be our new client, Julie Andrews. And here is profile information that I can fill out. Now it's going to ask me for a template, and I'm going to apply the accounting individual template. Now I've created a new drawer that quickly with a folder structure. And you can set up retention on a drawer, a folder, or on a document itself. In order to do it at the cabinet level, you must be an admin. And you can look over here, and if you have permissions, you can edit retention. Retention allows you to determine the life of a document, and it can be set up for years, months, or days. And it can be decided, do you want to have the documents purged, moved to an archive location, or copied? This is mainly done by the admin, and in the admin training I go in much more detail. I just want to show you it here so you know what it is. Okay, I'm now also going to send a document into eFileCabinet by right-clicking. I don't want to put it in the correspondence folder here. I'm going to right-click and send to eFileCabinet. And the store window opens, and I'm going to place it in the correspondence folder and store it that quickly. Now if I bring SideKick in, go to Julie Andrews drawer, 216 folder, correspondence folder, there is the same document. Okay, thank you for attending this training session. Also, if you need support, technical support, go to support.efilecabinet.com. If you need some additional training, you can come on this training as often as you would like. And there's also training videos at that site, or you can chat with us or call us at that toll-free number. Again, thank you for attending.